Hey everybody, it's Mary's. I was sitting on my couch and I was just like watching tweets go by and Facebook and seeing comments, just kind of taking it all in over stuff that happened today. And I had this thought that just jolted me right out of my seat. I just had to get out there. I had to record something. So I did my little thing where I go for a walk and I take my camera with me and so now I want to tell you all about this. So you know how you look and you see people saying all the time, well, at least for the Democrats, oh, you need somebody besides Pelosi, you need a leader. They're waiting for the next person to come along and what's going to be the focus, what's going to be the agenda, what issues are you going to talk about. We keep waiting for somebody to come up and do something. Somebody that has some sort of fucking vision. And what I realized, not through my own thoughts, but actually like watching everybody say these kinds of things on the internet, and people just have great ideas, people just have great thoughts. And I said to myself, you know what? It's not other people that we should be looking to. It's not our representatives. It's not somebody that, that we're looking for to kind of lead the way. We actually can, through the power of the internet, through social media and things like that, can make a difference without looking for anyone to do it for us. You guys remember what happened right after the election? What happened? Women's March. How did that come about? One freaking woman got on, connected with her people connected with other people, and before you know it, you've got one of the biggest marches in history right within shouting distance of the White House lawn. So my point is, if we're looking for somebody to show leadership, the odd thing about leaders and the odd thing about having people, that whole term, is that a lot of times leaders are followers. They look to other people for freaking polls. They look to other people for some sort of direction that they should be taking. It's not leadership. You're not going to get that. But there's a lot of people out there that have their own ideas. There's a lot of people out there that have their own sense of what's right and wrong, and it's unvarnished, it's unfiltered. They simply want to go out there and go after it. Now, part of the issue with guys like Bernie Sanders and guys like Trump is that, there's always this little knife digging that they do. With Bernie, it's simply, the kind of conversation and the kind of way that he conveyed his message was, in some ways, a little bit out there. And same thing with Trump, it was just like this kind of thing where it was just very aggressive. But, people like us that just, live about our daily lives, we can actually have some kind of influence just by social media. So my suggestion is, let's forget the quote-unquote leaders. Let's go ahead and see what we can do together. And, we do that through petitions. We do that through latching on to trending topics and contacting people directly, contacting CEOs of companies, contacting leadership in Congress, the speaker, the majority leader, the GOP, the Democrats, both sides. We do it through contacting organizations. The problem is that very often, us as individuals, we don't have the kind of influence to influence millions of people. We can't just get up one day and have 1 million people follow us towards the goal. So let's say, for example, censure right now. You know, a lot of people out there have been tweeting hashtag censure Trump. Problem is that we can't get people to focus it. You know, where do we want to focus censure Trump? We want to focus censure Trump at the Speaker of the House. We want to do that at the Senate Majority Leader. We want to do that with the GOP. We want to put the word out there, just like we did with the CEOs of companies that were on Trump's councils. We want to focus our tweets on leadership, but the problem with the social media is that we can't really have leadership of one person that communicates to everybody. And unfortunately, you know, a lot of groups out there, I mean, you know, even now you talk to Democrats, what do? Let's do robocalls, or let's do calls to members of Congress, which is actually the way to go. You know, I've talked to like people that are staff members and whatnot, but in order to organize, in order to have some sort of influence, in order to push, you know, there are other buttons that we can push that don't require, you know, doing phone calls. Phone calls are great. They're good for contacting your members of Congress directly. But again, if we're smart about it, we're contacting people that, in corporations, in other organizations that have influence, mass influence, on our members of Congress, on our leaders. That's how we can get things moving. Exert pressure from the side. Get that mass kind of movement going where, you know, the dominoes start to fall. It's like pressure squared. You know, instead of one of us going on and doing a phone call, a bunch of us going and influencing a corporation or influencing an organization. I'll give you another example. AARP. You know, that's an organization that has influence with a lot of elder Americans, and a lot of Trump voters are older Americans. You know, what could we do in order to leverage our power? That's what I'm getting at. What is it we can do in order to make the most use of the levers of power, of media, of pressure that we can use? So I'd love to hear from people. I'm talking to people as much as I can. You know, we need to get people that have that kind of influence, millions of followers on Twitter, millions of followers on Facebook, people that really, you know, have influence. Like I tried to contact George Takei the other day, and I couldn't do it, you know. I'm probably one of a whole bunch of people that you know, he knows, or, you know, that try to contact him. I've tried contacting other people, but getting somebody like that to listen is really, really hard, you know, getting them to take action. So, let me turn against the sun so I'm not getting the sun. So, you know, the point is that some of you probably do have contacts. Some of you probably do have someone that you know that has that kind of influence that you're in direct contact with. So in order to pull that lever, so to speak, what we need to do is have some of you guys out there that do have those contacts, that do have some sort of influence over people that do have that kind of following. We need you guys to work that relationship. We need you guys in order to push towards having those people volunteer their time to get the message of the masses out there. Censure Trump. The other one today, we're talking about the government shutting down because Trump wants to, stick to his let's build the wall thing, and unless Congress agrees with him, then he's gonna veto anything that comes to his desk, which ultimately is going to lead to a government shutdown. So these are the kind of things where we can say to some of these people, work together. Republicans, Democrats, work together in order to override the chief executive. Until this guy is out of office, cooperation is the way to go. You get an overwhelming kind of vote. You get an overwhelming kind of response where both Republicans and Democrats say, you know what? We're going to do this without the president. That's what we got to try to do. And at the same time, pressure for censure, pressure for either impeachment, or the other thing is Amendment 25, Section 4, which is to push someone out of office either by the leaders of various cabinet positions, or by Congress putting together a committee which is actually going to evaluate the president's ability to lead, which means that either by mental capacity or by health, they determine that the president is no longer fit in order to serve in office. That's what we got to do if we want to change something. We got to stop fucking talking online, joking about this kind of stuff. We got to stop just saying, let's kind of let's annoy the people that are supporting Trump online. Let's troll them. Forget that. Actual action. That's what we need to focus on. So I hope this gives some people out there some idea of how focused action can happen. And I'd love to talk to you about it. Let's talk about it. And let's try to get something done. I'm out there doing petitions right now. I'm out there putting together, I've got a number of petitions which I put together, and I'm getting people to sign those petitions. That's another way. So, again, let's keep the conversation going. Call me, leave me a tweet, leave me a Facebook. You want to get to know me, I'll give you my email address. Let's talk. Let's see how we can do something together. We're more powerful when we do and we work together than just tweeting by ourselves or just trying to change something by ourselves. It's possible, but we've got to be committed to doing that and being serious about it, and not just put it to random interactions. Ultimately, us joking about stuff like that online and trolling people and stuff like that, it doesn't get shit done. If we want to get shit done, we've got to say, this is valuable to us. This is what we got to do. We have to take it seriously. We have to think about a way to do it. So, contact me.